You booked the room 5th floor, ocean view. Hurricane's coming, but the hotel says don't worry. The windows are reinforced, the building's concrete, and everything's up to code. You feel safe? You shouldn't. Category 5 hurricanes aren't weather. They're war machines. Wind speeds over 157 miles per hour. That's enough to rip roofs clean off, collapse walls, and turn glass windows into shards of death flying at 100 miles per hour. And guess what most hotels have? Glass. Lots of it. You ever seen a beachfront resort in a storm? Entire lobbies are glass. Panoramic windows, floor-to-ceiling exposure, and when that glass goes, so does the pressure. Once the wind breaks through, game over. Doors slam shut, air pressure drops, ceilings collapse like lungs, and now you're 5 stories up. Power's out, elevator's dead, water's rising in the lobby, and your room just became a trap in the sky. Here's what most people don't realize. Category 5 hurricanes don't just damage buildings, they strip the land. Even reinforced concrete hotels can get breached. In 2017, Hurricane Irma hit the Caribbean and tore apart multiple 4-star hotels. Whole sections ripped open like dollhouses, not because the structures were weak, but because no building was designed for direct exposure at that level. And you know what FEMA says? If you're in a coastal hotel and a Cat 5 is coming, leave. Doesn't matter how many stars the place has, your booking confirmation won't stop the storm. Here's the part they don't tell you in the lobby. The hurricane doesn't have to hit your room to kill you. All it needs is water, and it's bringing a whole ocean with it. Let's talk storm surge. Category 5 hurricanes push walls of water 15 to 20 feet high, sometimes more. That's not a wave, that's a mobile floodplain. Salt water, debris, downed power lines, sewage, crushed cars, rushing inland at 10 to 15 miles per hour. You ever see a car float down a street like a rubber duck? That's storm surge. Now picture this. You're in a hotel near the coast. You think you're safe on the 3rd floor, but the parking garage is submerged. The 1st floor is underwater. The lobby's gone. And worse, the building's foundation just got compromised. Because storm surge doesn't just flood, it erodes. Once the ground underneath a building starts slipping away, the structure above starts doing the same. And guess what? Concrete isn't waterproof. Once salt water gets into rebar, that building's lifespan starts ticking. Fast. Hurricane Katrina 2005. Dozens of hotels flooded from the bottom up. Some collapsed, some stood, but had their entire interiors gutted. Furniture floated, hallways filled. People trapped in rooms were rescued by boat through windows. Let's be real, even luxury hotels aren't built for this kind of war. Take Hurricane Dorian in 2019. It parked over the Bahamas with 185-mile-per-hour winds for nearly 2 days. Dozens of resort-style hotels were shredded, roofs peeled off, hallways collapsed. People were trapped in stairwells as water poured in like a waterfall. And these weren't old motels. They were upscale multi-million-dollar properties. And building codes, they vary. A lot. In Florida, newer hotels follow strict hurricane standards. But in other states, you might be staying in a structure built in the 1980s with zero retrofitting. Looks solid on the outside, but one good gust and the whole thing rattles. It's not about the price of the room, it's about the bones of the building. And if you don't know what it's made of, you're betting your life on drywall and wishful thinking. And let's be clear, this isn't fiction. This is documented FEMA footage, real survivor reports, and no-way surge modeling. Storm surge is silent at first, but it's merciless. By the time you feel it, it's already too late. So, yeah, the walls might still be standing, but when the water rises, you're not in a hotel anymore. You're in a flooded tomb with no way out. You're 5 stories up, the storm's outside, you think you're good, but then everything goes black. Lights out, elevator dead, Wi-Fi gone, signal gone. The building just became a box. Hotels depend on power for everything, air circulation, water pressure, even door locks. And when a hurricane hits Category 5, the grid doesn't flicker, it drops off the face of the earth. Here's the chain reaction no one talks about. Electronic key cards stop working. Toilets stop flushing. Emergency systems fail. Backup generators? They last hours, not days. And most are installed on ground level, which is now a swimming pool. Now imagine trying to evacuate. The stairwells? Pitch black. No ventilation. Wet concrete. People panicking. One fall? You're done. One heart attack on the way down, there's no paramedic coming. In 2012, during Hurricane Sandy, New York high-rises had guests trapped for days. People rationed bottled water, ate minibar snacks, used buckets to flush toilets. And that wasn't even a Cat 5. That was a borderline storm with low surge and a prepared city. Now drop that same scenario in Miami Beach, in a hotel where the staff evacuated and left you with a flashlight and good luck. Let me be clear, high floors don't mean safety. They mean isolation. Once you're up there and the systems fail, you're not protected. You're cut off. You're not escaping the storm. You're watching it happen from a glass box you can't get out of. So let's answer the question. Are hotels safe in a Category 5 hurricane? Technically, it depends. But if you need a technicality to survive, you're already losing. Here's what makes a hotel barely survivable. It's inland, not beachfront. It's built with reinforced concrete, not decorative walls. It has no windows facing the storm side. It has an operational disaster plan, staff on site, and a shelter-rated basement. And most importantly, you're not relying on it. But here's the problem. That's not most hotels. That's not the place you booked on Expedia. That's not the resort with the tiki bar and ocean view. That's not the tower with 12 floors of glass and a valet outside waiting to get crushed by a palm tree. You want the real odds? If a Category 5 is coming and you're in a hotel near the water on a high floor with no generator, no plan, and no way out, you're a name on a clipboard waiting to be crossed off. This isn't about fear, it's about math. Category 5 hurricanes destroy 90% of structures in their direct path. Roofs go airborne, walls collapse. Hotels are not bunkers, they're businesses, and they don't build for apocalypse, they build for ambiance. So unless your room doubles as a storm shelter, and unless that hotel's 10+ miles inland, you're not safer in that room. You're just higher off the ground when it all goes wrong. You thought 5 stars meant 5 layers of safety? You thought concrete meant unbreakable? You thought check-in meant check-out? Think again. This is weather war zone, where nature doesn't care how much you paid for the room, and the only safe booking is the one you never make.